Welcome back to RallySlide, a channel dedicated to the WRC. I'm Gal, a longtime fan of the sport, and today we'll talk about the leading support category in the WRC. Apart from the WRC, the top level of the sport, there are support categories to it, where drivers build up their skills and experience before reaching the top. The leading one of those is the WRC2 Championship. The WRC2 is the second rank in the championship, and the last category before jumping to the top. The cars which are used in it are cars which nowadays are called Rally 2 cars. In the past, they were called R5, and these cars are still used today, as they can be used until the end of their homologation. The cars at the top level of rallying nowadays before Rally 1 cars are the Rally 2 cars, and in most countries and championships around the world, they are in fact the top level of rally cars. The cars have a four-wheel drive system with front and rear mechanical differentials and no center diff, which unlike in the top level of a WRC, was never permitted for this category. The engine, like in the top category, is a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, but there is a much smaller restrictor of just 32 mm in comparison to 36 in the top level, and the cars produce around 290 horsepower nowadays, 100 less than the WRC cars before counting the hybrid system. The engine is also less lively, with simpler anti-lag system, and is connected to a 5-speed manual sequential gearbox. Paddle shifters were and always will be banned for this class. The cars are also a lot more simple, with smaller aero kits, suspension with less travel, and it needs to have parts from their counter road cars to lower down the cost and the price, which is limited to around 200,000 euros. The championship is split into three categories. The first one is the top level of it, which is called WRC2. In this championship, both official teams and privateers can compete. The drivers can compete at every round they want, but they can only score points in 7 rounds, and the top 6 results are taken into account. There is also a power stage like in the top category, but unlike there, only the top 3 drivers score points, not 5, in order of 3 points for the fastest, 2 for second, and 1 for third. For the team's championship, a team can choose 2 drivers to nominate for the championship per rally. For the teams, there are different limits, and they can enter up to 6 rallies in Europe and 1 event outside it, where they can score points. The 5 best results from Europe and the results from the overall event are taken into account. There are 2 championships below it, the first of which is the WRC2 Challenger. The championship, which was called WRC2 Junior last year, is a championship for drivers who have less experience or are new to the category. Drivers who want to compete in the Challenger Championship must have not won any championship in the past with the Rally 2 cars and haven't been nominated to score WRC points at the top level in the past. However, there are no power stage points for this championship. Drivers can score points in both championships, along with the top level of a sport, if they manage to finish in the overall top 10 of a rally. The last championship is the WRC Masters Cup. However, for this year, unlike in the past, when it was called WRC2 Masters and only allowed Rally 2 cars, it was opened this year to allow cars from other categories as well, and is open to drivers aged 50 and above. The WRC2 Championship is an option for drivers who don't currently have a possibility, for financial or other reasons, to compete at the closest level to the top in rallying, and a lot of WRC drivers who don't have an available seat currently compete in the WRC2, or drivers who struggle at the top level of a sport. Despite the fact the cars are now around for a decade and haven't really changed, the amount of interest for privateers who compete only grows, and there is a massive list of competitors who compete in the WRC2 classes. So that's what you need to know about the WRC2. Do know if you have some spare money in the bank, but if you are interested in buying a top level rally car, you can go and buy one from the companies that make it. So next time you think about buying a fancy supercar, which will load up dust in the garage, know that there might be a better option. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for more rallying content, as the WRC is back in Mexico next week. Stay tuned, and goodbye.